Icebergs. A completely original idea that has never been done before. I had this original idea to do in PIXAR Iceberg, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. I also made this iceberg myself, so the link in the description definitely isn't credit to the source of the actual iceberg original post. In case you don't know what an iceberg ranking is, since why would you, I invented it. The way the iceberg works is the surface is the more well-known facts, and the deeper the iceberg goes, the more obscure the facts gets. So let's begin on Tier 1. Made in Point Richmond. I talked about this one in my Lost Media video, but when PIXAR was moved from Point Richmond to Emeryville, California, a DVD was made. And this DVD was released to employees with a bunch of animation tests and outtakes to celebrate the memories that had been made in the old studio. Also, Toy Story 1, Bug's Life, and Toy Story 2 were made at this studio. But since PIXAR didn't own the copyright to a lot of the commercials they made before making shorts, they couldn't release the DVD originally. This was considered lost for a long time until a former employee's family member released the content. Newt. Another film I talked about in my Lost Media video is Newt. Newt is one of the only films by PIXAR that has not been made. It was cancelled sometime in 2012 after being delayed in 2011. The official reason Newt was cancelled is debated, but Ed Catmull, who was a co-founder of PIXAR, said that the film was troubled in its development stage. It's highly rumored that the film was cancelled because of Rio. The only items available from Newt are a few concept art, pictures, and the soundtrack. No animation or footage from the movie has been released, and it is not known how much of the movie was actually made. Luxo Jr. Pencil Test. This is a rough animation test of the classic Luxo Jr. short. The test was made in 1986 and is a process that the animator uses to check out how the animation is working. Pencil tests are actually digital pencil drawings and are typically done right before the final animation is applied. Also, if you didn't know, Luxo Jr. is the name of the very famous lamp short made by PIXAR and is the mascot of PIXAR. Luxo Jr. is also in the National Film Registry. Unknown ABC Toy Story 2 animations. These are shorts that were aired on ABC. The shorts were also made to promote the VHS and DVD release of Toy Story 2 in 2000. The shorts primarily featured Woody, Buzz Lightyear, Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head, Ham, Rex, and the Pizza Planet aliens. What's interesting about these shorts is that they went missing after the initial airing in 2000, but popped back up on the internet after the Made in Point Richmond DVD was leaked on YouTube. Beach Chair. This is an early animation made by Eben Osby in 1986. This isn't considered an official short film, more of an animation test since it was made by Eben Osby because he wanted to learn more about shadowing. The short itself shows a beach chair making its way to the ocean, but walking away once it hits the ocean. Onward is based on Dan Scantling's life. In an interview with Deadline, Onward director Dan Scantling shared the story of how Onward was based on his own experience in his life. Ian, the main character of Onward, takes from Dan's own personality when he was a teenager. He said that he was shy, lacking confidence, and super awkward. Dan Scantling's dad passed away when he was 1, and his brother was 3. He doesn't remember much about his father at all, but he has heard stories and had a tape recording of his voice. So you can see how this is a little similar to the plot of Onward. Monsters, Inc. 2, Lost in Scaradise, scrap sequel. When PIXAR was first gaining popularity and success, they were against sequels. They were so against it that they formed another division of the Disney company called Circle 7 Animation to produce these movies. One of these movies were going to be Monsters, Inc. 2, Toy Story, and Finding Nemo sequels. Circle 7 was created after Cars was finished in 2006. Eventually, Bob Iger and Steve Jobs finally made a deal that Disney would buy Pixar, and because of this, Circle 7 was shut down, and none of the proposed sequels are made. Mike and Sully go into Boo's door to give her a present for her birthday, but they find an old woman instead. Mike and Sully realize that Boo must have moved, so they set out to find her. A full video on the plot breakdown is right there and does a great job of breaking flags and waves. This is an early animation test created by Bill Reeves and Alan Fournier in 1986. This short shows flags blowing in the wind and an ocean. The method used for animating the water is the same method used later in Finding Nemo. It is the first CGI cloth simulation and was shown in SIGGRAPH 1986. All movies are connected. This tier refers to the fact that all Pixar movies most likely take place in the same universe, but at different times. It is widely speculated that the witch from Brave is actually Boo from Monsters, Inc., and the Pizza Planet truck shows up in most of the Pixar movies. Alright, so tier 2, A113. This is the classroom number that John Lasseter, Tim Burton, Michael Peraza, and Brad Bird shared while attending CalArts. A113 is an Easter egg that is still used in the movies today. It first appeared in The Brave Little Toaster in 1987 and appeared as Andy's mom's license plate number in Toy Story. Some of the other places it is referenced in is Finding Nemo, it is the camera number of the scuba diver, Incredibles, it's the conference room number and prison level and cell number, and like Up, it's the number of the courtroom. Cars Tuned, Protect and Serve. This is a cancelled episode of the cartoon show that was on Disney Channel. The short started in 2008 and ran for 2 seasons. To Protect and Serve would have aired in 2015, and its plot revolved around 2 rookie cop cards named Dee 05 and Mike 07, as they take over for Sheriff when he is on vacation. The only problem is that the rookies are terrible at their job, giving Radiator Springs residents tickets for everything, and when Sheriff gets back, the whole town is a crime scene. The short would never make it to air, an official reason has never been given, but it is speculated that due to controversy with police around this time, and the death of co-director Rob Gibbs led to the permanent cancellation. The Pixar Theory. This is a theory by many on the internet that every Pixar movie takes place in the same universe and goes in chronological order like the MCU. There's many videos about it on YouTube that do a much better job explaining it than I will, so if you want more information, look up the Pixar Theory on the internet, it'll come right up. The timeline goes as follows: The Good Dinosaur, Brave, The Incredibles 2, Luca, Lightyear, Toy Story, Turning Red, Toy Story 2, Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, Ratatouille, Toy Story 3, Toy Story 4, Up, Inside Out, Coco, Soul, Cars, Cars 2, Cars 3, WALL-E, A Bug's Life, Onward, Monsters University, Monsters Inc., Monsters Inc. early tests. The footage you are seeing are the test models of Mike and Sully. The stand-in model of Sully is known as Jonathan in this version. Mike also does not have arms, since they wanted to see if the animators could make a character expressive without arms. In the end, they decided to give him arms. Jonathan also had tentacles instead of feet. Animators decided to give him feet because they felt audiences would focus on his tentacles instead of the actual character during the movie. There are a lot of hair tests for Sully. As a matter of fact, there is a model that Pixar built called the Hairball to test the hair. Pete Docter, the director of Monsters, Inc., loved the Hairball test so much that they used it for the background monsters in the movie. Like Harry Lucky, who was also named after Bud Lucky. Toy Story Black Friday Reel. This was the first draft of Toy Story that was presented to Disney. Most of the film is lost since it received such poor reviews from test audiences and executives. John Lasseter and Pixar have since called it the Black Friday Reel because they showed it on Black Friday. The story goes that Woody was so unlikable in this version and made him be the villain of the movie. It was shown in November 1993 and nearly got Toy Story and Pixar completely canceled and shut down. John Lasseter felt completely embarrassed and shamed by the movie since it is not what he wanted to make. It had been Jeffrey Katzenberg that had wanted the film to be darker. Tom Hanks also hated playing Woody, and Roy E. Disney and the other Disney heads hated the film as well. Blowing in the Wind is a 1985 short film made by Bill Reeves. It is 1 minute long and is a test for wind. It shows blades of grass swaying in the wind with Bob Dylan's Blowing in the Wind as background music. This short was never officially released due to copyright reasons with the song. The short was included in Made in Point Richmond DVD and was uploaded to YouTube after the DVD was uploaded. Brave is responsible for sentient animals. This is part of a theory that Brave's magic used by the witch is the reason animals can move and talk like humans in the Pixar world. Toy Story 4 original script. In 2013, Pixar started work on the fourth Toy Story movie. This movie was supposed to come out in summer 2017, but due to writers Rashida Jones and Will McCormack leaving the production, it was pushed to 2019. After the movie was released on June 21st, 2019, the original script was found by a Lost Media Wiki user. The original plot focuses around Woody and Bo Peep like the finished script, but in this version, Bo ends up living with Bonnie and Forky is not present in this early version. Mary is Boo's real name. It was revealed in a book based on Monsters, Inc. that Boo's real name is actually Mary. The same name has her voice actress, Mary Gibbs. Mary Gibbs is the daughter of the late Rob Gibbs, a story artist for Pixar. She was only 2.5 years old when she voiced Boo, and Pixar employees followed her around with a microphone while she played, since it was tough for her to sit in a booth and record her lines. I just thought that was a fun piece of trivia. The garbage man in Toy Story 3 is Sid. A popular Easter egg in Toy Story 3 is the garbage man wearing Sid's skull shirt from the first Toy Story film. But Sid has grown up and not changed his clothing style since the garbage man has been confirmed to be Sid. Toy Story 3 director Lee Unkrich did confirm that Sid is the garbage man. Alright, let's move on to Tier 3 now. Boo is the witch from Brave. This is not confirmed. It's a theory that Boo from Monsters, Inc. is the witch in Brave because of her love of bears. She might have confused Sully for a bear. It's not confirmed, so I don't really know why it's on this iceberg. Toy Story 3 Circle 7 animation. This is the original screenplay for Toy Story 3 that was going to be made by Pixar's partner company, Circle 7 Animation. The plot of this movie was Buzz is recalled by the company that made the Buzz Lightyear toys, and the rest of Andy's bedroom toys set out to Taiwan to rescue him. Circle 7 was shut down in 2006 after Disney bought Pixar and wasn't able to produce these films. The plant from WALL-E is the tree of Ant Island. This is another theory by Pixar fans that the tree in Bug's Life is the plant in the boot after growing for hundreds of years. Edna Mode saved the world. We all love Edna Mode and her famous no capes line. This line is actually much more important than you think, because according to some, I actually believe that this theory is true. Edna might have made Syndrome's suit and put a cape on it knowing that he was going to use his technology for evil and not good. And this makes a lot of sense because Syndrome might have gone to Edna because she makes the best suits. Andy's dad. It is debated who is Andy's dad in Toy Story. We actually might have gotten an answer. Mike Mozart claims to be a friend of the late Joe Ranft, who was a head Pixar writer. Andy's dad was also named Andy and owned Woody before Andy. Other stories have been debunked, and it's still a mystery who Andy's father truly is, so we might never know. Jesse's original owner. Another Toy Story theory that has been debunked, but might still be true, is Andy's mom may have been Jesse's original owner that abandoned her in the box many years ago. How did Doc Hudson die? This is something I ask myself almost every day. The truth is that the actor who played Doc Hudson, Paul Newman, died in 2008, and Pixar did not want to replace the actor for the role in Cars 2, but it's questioned how a car died in the canon. Toy Story 2 was almost deleted. Back in 1999, when Toy Story 2 was in production, the movie's files were stored in a massive supercomputer in the Point Richmond office. One day, an unknown employee ran a delete command that accidentally deleted everything off of the computer, including all of the Toy Story 2 files. And unfortunately, Pixar did not back up their files, so everyone was in panic mode. But luckily, Galen Sussman, who was the supervising technical director, remembered that she had been working on her computer at home, working on the movie at home, since she had a newborn baby at the time. She then rushed home and brought the computer into the office. A 2-week backup file was found on the computer, and the film was saved. This next tier gets into deeper and darker entries, so if you are sensitive to these topics, please be warned. Toy Story 3 is an allegory for the Holocaust. So we're going to get started on the darker side of the iceberg, and this theory/observation is possibly true since there are eerie simulations to Toy Story 3. Like Jews were treated at the concentration camp is very similar to how toys are treated at Sunnyside, and how Lotso took control by force and race, what is basically a dictatorship. You can see how that's similar. Obviously, I don't want to get too far into this entry, but Toy Story does have some similarities to the Holocaust for some reason. Riley's mom committed tax fraud. This is a wild theory by YouTuber Seamus Gorman. He noticed that when Riley steals her mom's credit card, it quite clearly says K. Ann Anderson. What's interesting about this name is that Riley's last name is spelled Anderson, not Andersen. And her mom's name is Jill. It doesn't start with a K. So is this just an Easter egg, or is Jill Anderson a criminal? By and large, destroyed the world. This refers to the company in WALL-E and Toy Story by and large. This company is canon in the Pixar universe and makes literally everything, meaning it is the reason that humans cannot live on Earth anymore. Lightning's original number. Famously, Lightning McQueen's racing number is 95. The year Toy Story came out, 1995. But his number was originally going to be 57, the year John Lasseter was born. Riley's sixth emotion. Originally, Riley was going to have 6 emotions in Inside Out. The emotion that was cut was reason, also known as logic. This emotion was cut due to questions being asked about him, like why can Riley control that emotion but not the others? Because these questions were being asked, the team had to cut him from the story. Gusteau committed suicide. In Ratatouille, Chef Gusteau's official cause of death is a broken heart. But of course, this is not the real reason. So it has been theorized that because of losing one of his stars and a bad review, Chef Gusteau committed suicide. Dia de los Muertos Register. Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, is a holiday celebrated in Mexico and Latin America. It is also the holiday celebrated in Coco. On May 1st, 2013, Disney tried to copyright the name Dia de los Muertos, and this is not only illegal, but a shitty thing to do, since this is a national holiday celebrated by millions for generations. Disney withdrew their filing after the backlash the news received. Tier 5. All movies are about the apocalypse. This refers to a fan theory that all the Pixar movies secretly point to the apocalypse. There's many videos on YouTube that explain this theory better than I have time for. Nemo never existed. This is a dark fan theory about Finding Nemo, and theorizes that when Marlin lost his family in the beginning of the movie to the Barracuda, that he actually lost Nemo as well, and pretended/imagined that he still had a son that survived the attack. Carl Fredricksen was dead. This is another death theory that Carl from Up didn't actually go to Paradise Falls, and that all the events after the court date don't actually take place, and that this is Carl in the afterlife finally going to Paradise Falls with Russell, the son that they could never have. Cars community service. This is a deleted scene from the movie Cars. This scene was made in March 2002 and is only storyboard drawings and did not get fully animated. In the scene, Lightning is asked to race in Radiator Springs, but does not want to do it, so he chooses to do community service instead. While he is sleeping, he has a nightmare about his engine being put in a steamroller by Mater, Doc, and Sheriff. Mater's engine has also been put into Lightning's body. Mac comes back to retrieve Lightning and drives away with Mater, who is in Lightning's body, and strands the real Lightning in Radiator Springs. He then wakes up and does the race instead. This scene was cut because it made the townsfolk look crazy, and it's kind of a dark thought to have cars be able to, like, switch bodies. We toys can see everything. This is the line Woody tells Sid after he and the rest of the toys scare him at the end of the movie. I assume this is on the tier list because this scene is low-key terrifying. Think about how scared and scarred Sid had when he was younger, and how scary of a thought your toys coming to life to possibly hurt you is. Just, this scene creeps me out. So that is the PIXAR Iceberg. If you noticed, I did cut some of the entries on here because they were a little bit not interesting, and some of them were just theories that aren't proven, so I didn't really feel that they were worth mentioning, but I will leave the iceberg linked in the description in case you want to go look at the entries that I didn't include. While you're down there, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a like, and also leave a comment. Anyway, please consider subscribing. It would make me a very happy man. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Have a magical day, everybody.